keep doing that until a lot of that stuff that I talk about become true.
Right.
To that world, to them worlds that I talked about on them records, dozens of records where I reference things that's happening right now.
Right.
Just keep doing all that until you're sitting there and the people are corralled to the point where they can only move their bowels like some goddamn bovine cows. Like, keep doing what you're doing until you're corralled and the only thing you can move is your bowels like a bovine cow. Just keep doing it. That's all I got to say.
What's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekmer, aka Jigsaw, and you are here with my man Canibus, the Canibus man. Finally, we meet again. Again and again and again. Yo, man, it's a pleasure to have you on allhiphop.com, bro. I want to say, you know, from us to you, we have a lot of respect for you, man, and your pen game is still ridiculous. So we have to get into all of that. But first of all, what are you up to? In our pre-interview, we were just talking about you jumping off the radar, coming back in. Tell everybody what you've been up to.
So essentially, inside and outside of, the other things that people got to do every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rap is always something that just making records, communicating with you. I call them like my brotherhood, like communicating with them and just put some out to let them know, it's like a little communication just to let them know, look, man, I'm still here. We still all pushing forward and, you know what I mean? And, little positive reinforcement, right? Because sometimes if they don't see you for too long and they think that it's like you quit or you gave up or something happened, something unfortunate happened or stuff like that. So it's necessary to tap in every now and then, just let them know, look, man, I'm still here. We don't communicate all the time, but you know what? We still pushing forward, positive reinforcement, you know what I'm saying? And, that love, life, and legacy thing that I got. And that's for everybody. That ain't just my saying for me, that's for everybody,
Yeah.
What that legacy is whether it's what you leave behind, whether it's, your family, the younger ones, the little munchkins and huskies, right? Your body of work, whatever that might be, if you're somebody that work with your hands, because I do work with my hands out there in the field, and, you gotta have, you leave things behind, right?
Right.
Satisfied people that you work with, people who are satisfied when you work with them. You know what I mean? We leave stuff behind, and I call that our legacy, right? I never got to plant any trees yet. And I need to get to that before I get too old. I need to get into it like my grandma used to do, plant a mango tree or something. You know
Come
what I'm saying?
Man. You gotta. That's an obligation that we have as far as bringing into a new era of little cannabises.
Yeah, people don't see rap that way, and it's curious, man. I don't know. I can't call it, but people don't really see, hip hop, rap, rhythmic American poetry, however you want to coin it. People don't really see it that way. Like, yo, we do have lives, man. Like, we out here. It ain't just the music. It ain't just trying to impress people. With ancillary things, it is also about like a documenting just your journey through life, right?
Right.
Because sometimes people are inspired just by seeing hardships that others go through, and then you can connect to it. It's relatable, right? So that's really I see rap that way. I've been looking at hip hop that way for a long time, man. Like there's a lot of heartfelt, genuine feelings that I get seeing, elders that I came up looking up to and watching how they transgress and how they handle aging, you know what I'm saying? And a game that doesn't wait for anybody, you know what I'm saying? A game that it's just like a train with no stops, man. It's just hip hop moves like it's like there are no stops, man.
Right. Yeah. So, let me ask you, your album Kaiju. Now, for those that don't know, I had to look this up, but that's in Japanese culture, those are the giant monsters, the Godzillas and the
And remember,
right,
they monsters, but they also saved humanity a couple times. You know what I mean? Sometimes they got in there and mixed it up and saved humanity at the last, at the buzzer, right?
right, true indeed.
Right. Anything that's just like you look at it and it's just frightening,
Yeah, yeah.
That record, Hydra, is one of them that I would describe that way. That Hydra record was huge to me. That's one of the first ones I recorded.
Okay.
Maybe it was the third track, and then Versuz, of course, the COVID Santa one. Curmudgeon's cool, but you know what I mean. The hard hitting ones, man. Like there's a few more on there that hit hard, and there's a few conceptual tracks, right? So in my mind, it's big. It's big, like it's big,
Yeah. Speaking of big, you have a couple of guests on there, in particular, DMX and MF Doom.
Right.
Rest in peace to both of them.
Absolutely. For both Doom and DMX, there it is, the love, life, and legacy, man. Like they're all gonna be people that are gonna step in the gap to like keep your legacy alive, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the DMX feature, and I didn't want to grab like a verse because we didn't really do a verse together in the studio,
right?
But the ad-libs was a more conservative way to pay homage to him and sort of like say that sort of like echo through eternity.
Yeah.
So it was only right. It was only right to pay that homage and put it on wax.
Definitely. Yeah. I was gonna save this question for later in this interview, but let's quickly just discuss that class. That Big Pun, that DMX, right. You, Cameron, Nori, Mos Def.
That's right.
But right. How was that period of time where all swords were sharpening each other? Iron sharpens iron.
What happened to all of us, I think, is people were on separate labels. Artists were on separate labels at the time. And even when you're on the same label with another artist, once those A&Rs get their claws in you and, upper management and admin start to get involved, they motivate you in a way that, to tell you the truth, everything is rotating back to the financials, right? Like, yeah. What do the numbers look like? What do the statistics look like? And so I feel like that definitely had us more like fighting dogs than poets, right? What was created ultimately in the beginning was gorgeous and not to be outdone or overshadowed. And then what happened later on when the corporate shadows got involved, man, they turned it into straight up prize fighting, man. And and I was trapped in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas in the earlier days, hip hop did have the chance to, the Jack the Rappers, the How Can I Be Downs, you know what I'm saying? And these were set up by label heads, VPs. But once 98 came around, circa 97, 98, it's like they had us like fighting canines, man. It was, I look back on it and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Even like when I had 18 million hits on Canibus.com, this is 1997. I was recording video with like a Canon XL1. Like I spent 6 figures that year just because there was no sponsorship. There was no backing. And I remember getting 18 million hits. And so of course I had the potential at that young age to do other things, you know what I'm saying? To do other things. It wasn't just prize fighting, like rap prize fighting like that. I had the potential at that time to even come out with a online, everything that people are doing now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Of
like
course.
In 2010, I was doing something called Spitballs, and it was basically and it was built. You know what I mean? Like at the time, like my manager and my team that I was working with, I want to send a shout out to all of them, everybody involved in that. That was built. That site was built. And I remember telling the artists, like, look, if you just come through, sign in, talk to the fans, they'll love to see you. Like, I think the cost to join was like $25 for the year. And I was like, yo, if you join in, I give you like $5 for every person that you bring to the site.
Right.
So if you brought 1,000 people to the site, that's 5 bands.
What site was that? What site was that?
It was called Spitballs. Spitballs.com. Spitballs.
Okay.
Yeah. And this was in 2010. And nobody from hip hop assisted, man. Nobody.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I find, and this is my memory, but it's facts, man. Like, I find that when I was coming up, right, 20, 21, 22, I distinctly remember making a lot of strides in technology.
Yeah.
And looking at my own people, turning their backs on it and not wanting to participate, even to help themselves, right? And now what are they doing? They all running around doing. Everybody's online. Everybody's got, everybody's got avatars. Everybody's like, right? And you know what? Most of them don't own nothing.
Yeah, I know.
They don't own nothing. No ownership.
No ownership. Right? Yep.
So then you start to wonder if it's just, is it rap that's cursed, or is it the people that's cursed? What is it? And I know that's really deep for me to say, and I ain't trying to start no quarrels or nothing, but I experienced that something's cursed, man. I don't know if it's the music or the people, but something is.
Yeah.
And people gotta try to undo that, man. Or just just eat what it becomes, because there are those of us who we not going talk about sink or swim. We're gonna swim. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, everybody ain't gonna end up with zero ownership, not having nothing, and being miserable about the run that they had. Everybody's not going to be miserable regardless of what you do to them. Some people are gonna find ancillary ways to stay right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and I don't care if we.
Yeah, are you prepared? Some would say that we're seeing the end of times, end of days. You say you don't want to live to be 80. Do you feel like we're living a dystopian novel or movie or
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that this is like, yo, man, the puppet masters. Like, listen, man, if I take away, just if I peel away the layers, and I deal with each layer individually, the puppet masters are geniuses, right? Let's just get that out the way. The puppet masters are geniuses. However they got this thing going, and this is not the first time they've done it either, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this thing over and over and over again, like in perpetuity, it seems like, right? And so each time humanity is rebuilt, or civilization is rebuilt, or civilizations plural are rebuilt, they're in control, and the way that they do it is just seamless. And funny enough, they always have the farm just dealing with things on the farm. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really looks outside the fence on the farm, and we stay on the farm. And it's cool. I don't have a problem with that or anything like that. I just say to myself, man, that if these films and these huge budget, just like out of this world, out of this universe, even stories and productions are true. If somebody is spending 100, 200, 300, 400 million to make something for you because they are trying to hypnotize you into knowing that this is what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way out of it except, you know what I'm saying, it's just like, the big G God, you know what I'm saying? If the big G God don't want it to happen, it's not going to happen, right? And that's the creator. It's possible that the big G God is just busy, man. So since he's busy, right, then whoever's left to be in control of the farm is just, maybe, you know what I'm saying? They just, They just going they just taking it all the way to the, you know what I mean? They maxing out.
Facts.
So yeah, we are in a dystopian novel. This is unlike anything that this generation is getting to experience this, man. And even the baby boomers that's around to see this. I know the baby boomers is like, yo, this is I don't like this. You know, I preferred it when it was like this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that, and I'm not a baby boomer, but I'm right behind them. I'm they got a quarter mile on me. I'm looking at their brake lights, and I feel like, yeah, man, I preferred it I preferred, you know what I'm saying, the 80s. I prefer the 80s, man.
Yeah.
I prefer the 80s. Not no disrespect to everybody who's growing in this century now and this thing. No, but I prefer the 80s, man.
Facts,
this timeline, I'm not mad at them. I really empathize with them, man, with what they got to deal with, man. All of this, what they have to maneuver through.
Definitely.
And the traps have increased and multiplied. I don't want to be 80 years old, but if we ever get to that age, I ain't gonna tell everybody what age I don't mind getting to.
You don't want to get to 80?
I don't want to be 80. I don't want to be 80.
Come on, Biss, don't say that.
I don't want to be 80. I don't want to see what y'all gonna do with the world. I don't want to see what hip hop gonna look like. I don't want to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking what people do to something that's pure. But what I'm saying, and I only said that to say this, no matter how far into the future you look, I know that there's some people who just gonna continue to, with the littlest light, with the most minute sliver of light, they're gonna be able to grow.
I'll use myself as an example. All hip hop has dealt with numerous corporations that have attempted to take us out, and I'm like, yo, y'all don't know, I got a daughter who I got to put through college, or I have a mother who will need me at some point, or you know what I'm saying? I look at life. Life.
Where everybody else got the relative thereabouts the same sort of thing, and even more struggles, like taking care of a you know what I mean, like a physically challenged relative, or what I'm trying to say, like life gets rough for people.
Definitely. Out here. Your album, it's heavy too. Very, very dense. I always use the word dense when I have to listen more than once. I think I listened to yours maybe 3 times. I listen to certain songs even more. I listen to certain songs even more than I did others. You on the album you say, let me see what it is here. The quote is. What's the quote? Oh man, I lost the quote. Hold on. But it's about people not being able to understand what you're saying on this album. How did one back in the day? This, and I'll never forget a dude saying, "Cannabis makes my head hurt." And I looked at it and I said, "What?" I was like, "What? What do you mean? What are you talking about?" And now hip hop is way simpler, way, I'm not sure if I want to say dumbed down, but it is kind of like dumbed down. How do you feel about putting this type of project out at this time? Does it matter to you, or are you still leveraging those millions of fans out there?
So I knew that I had to perform lyrically for the people who been waiting for one, right? We're waiting for a record. And so that was my aim. Like, it was all for them. So, ego, it seems like, it's very, very, very often and too often, rap has this thing where, or just the way the media has, the way that the body has grown up, the body of rap has grown up. It's lopsided. It has MS. It has multiple sclerosis. It's not a full-bodied being. You know what I'm saying? It's not a healthy being. And the reason why is because it's all ego. So it's like a Frankenstein thing. It's Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein music. When you listen to it, You think that that's how life is, and nah, man. Only a certain part of life is like that. I don't care
Right.
what artist or what lyrics you want to extrapolate from what artist. Only a part of life is like that. Life is not like that altogether.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no way. Like on these records that people make, there is absolutely no way that life is like that all day, every day.
Right. Facts.
It ain't so. It ain't so.
Right.
But for some reason, the world at large lets us get away with, I guess, like shopping to the youngins that, yeah, life can be like this. And I just think it's a travesty, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a full body being.
Yeah.
But I don't want anybody to ever think like if nothing ain't changed, right?
Yeah.
Then if you ain't changing nothing, how you expect anything to really change? You see what I'm trying to say?
I hear you.
And if we gonna go with what the puppet masters want, cool, man. Like, cool. If that's what people want, that's what they're gonna get, man. But that's not how I live my life, man. Like, I stay in the guidelines and I do what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? But there's an afterlife, man, and something comes after this, man. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm not really I'm trying to graduate. I'm not trying to come back here and do this all over again. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to come back because there's lessons that would repeatedly, and redundantly, saying like presented to me. And I just kept, pushing them away and ignoring them. I'm trying to address the lessons, right? And learn, and then become better, and then graduate, and get out of here. When I move on from this little this marble of rock, salt, and water, I want to graduate.
Yeah.
I want to graduate. I don't want to come back here and do this all over again like a lot of little motherfuckers got to do, man. I don't care what kind of levels they reach in this world. They still got to come back and do this over again, man.
Right.
Because if you're doing what the puppet masters want you to do, the puppet masters love to recycle.
Yeah.
They love to recycle you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, and that's another reason why I feel like, they would have been loved to recycle me. You feel me? The amount of things that done happen, they would love to recycle me, right?
Yeah.
But if they recycle me because, you know what I'm saying, I try to keep it so righteous, that means that this will be the last time they see me, man, because I'm not coming back here to do it over again.
Right.
So if they jump the shark and get me up out of here early, I'm gone, which is what I want.
Yeah.
I want to graduate. So see, that's the question that everybody out there in the hip hop world, like our type of listeners and the people who follow us, follow allhiphop.com, follow what you've been doing from the jump, Jigsaw, and follow what I've been doing from the jump, and it's still here. This is what they want to hear.
Yeah.
If you want to live to be 100 years old and have all the fame and all the fortune and everything, great. But you still might have to come back and do it all over again.
Right.
Whereas you can live as the lowliest pauper, right? And and have a short life.
Right.
And then when you got to give up the ghost, you graduate.
Right.
And you go to another little section of the universe that the creator has carved out for you, where you can do work, and because of the lessons that you've learned where you came from, you can apply those things now. And like second round knockout would never happen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? That would never happen, right?
Right.
Man. We gotta work with. We gotta deal with the cards we dealt, man. We gotta work with that.
Facts.
Yeah. 18 million people. If there was a way that had harnessed it, and now people can't even get that now.
I know. Not at all.
You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So that's all I'm saying, man. I'm just saying that the game. I mean, this is what we got to work with, but I ain't really working with it like that because I kind of don't care what happened with rap now. Like I got my group that's with me, and we doing our thing over here. So I don't really like rap as a whole. Rap is fragmented, and I don't think it can be fixed, man. Because like I said, it's either the music is cursed or the people is cursed. It's one or the other, man. But the fact that you know what I'm saying, they can't get it together, man, with numerous prophets and poets and you know what I'm saying, like thinkers, heavy duty from
Yeah.
all walks of life, foreign, domestic, I mean, you name it, that can
Yeah.
come at them and you can't crack the ice. Like it's still ice. It
Right.
shouldn't be no ice, man. It shouldn't
Mm.
be no ice at this point.
That's heavy. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Look, Canibus, you are loved, brother. I just want to throw that out
It
there.
don't feel like it sometimes,
You
man. Like
are
for the
though.
people, it don't feel like it sometimes. Like I'm trying to wonder if rap is retarded. I'm
Yeah.
trying to wonder if everybody that listens to rap is slow and retarded. I'm trying to figure that out in my own mind.
Right.
Because y'all want to talk about the same shit over and over and over again, infinitum. And I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna. I don't know what it is because I'm not like that.
But yo, let me tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. We love to talk about we listen. First of all, for us, we love to talk about the good old days. That's why Drink Champs is so big. But
right.
for the younger generation, they weren't there for the
right.
for the wars. They weren't there for the epic moments.
Right.
I talked to a group of young men the other day. They were all easily under 30. I don't know how old they were, but easily under 30. And they asked me about all hip hop, and they were like, "Do y'all do new stuff or old stuff?" I was like, "We mix it up." But then I let them know we do what we do, and they was like, "Thank God, we don't want to hear nothing about nothing new." And I was shocked. I was like, I was blown away, really. So
I feel like it's a spiritual warfare, man. It's a spiritual warfare, and these people are not in control of their own vessel. It's not physical. It becomes physical because these people are not inhabiting their own vessels, man. And it's a spiritual warfare. So I essentially got like a team of legion out there. There's a legion out there that's been messing with the whole cannabis thing. It's legion. It's true.
Yeah,
It's spooky. And so I definitely dealt with it. Now, like, even though they present themselves, I disarm that energy, man, because you know what I mean? Like, it has no place here, man. I rebuke it. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta wonder sometimes if it's just like, is rap retarded? Like, was it something in the water? Did they feed us them little lunch milks? Chocolate milks that we got was just lead in it? Like, did they, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, what is it that people can't just say, you know what? We want to see more of something good. And the most interesting part about it is I'm watching it from an observer's point of view. I'm not in it no more, no matter how much they want me to be. I'm not in it, man.
Yeah.
I'm really not personally moved by what goes on in this thing, man. Like, I put verses out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody else put that, if Papoose would have put that out, everybody would have went crazy. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If Young Thug put that out, everybody would have went nuts. Yo, niggas would have went crazy. Yo, stop playing with me, man. Yo, anybody else put that out. If L would have put that record out, Elvis put that record out, yo, everybody would have went crazy. They'd been like, yo. See, and I'm not mad that I was the one that put it out. And nothing happened because everybody can go do a part 2. Somebody can go do a part 3. Somebody can do a part 4. And then those can blow up. But it came from a place of love. And to see that it came from a place of love, and then it's like hip hop just, I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody who is a keeper of the books can tell me what happened. I don't know if motherfuckers just listened to it and was like, yo, I don't like it. But
No,
that's why I'm an observer now.
Right.
And then to go make a song like Versuz, you know, the shit's 7 minutes and change.
Yeah,
it's 7 minutes and change. So, I mean, if at the very least back in the day, I would have had an answer to that, right? It's like an answer, like, okay, 7 minutes and change. Somebody else gonna come with something. You see what I'm saying? And then somebody else gonna come, and then they run, and then you know, they run out into the field and they play. And I sit, perch my porch, and I watch it, and I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And I say, you know what? That creation was good. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know the details of it, but I know that
It's called
three.
Puppet Masters.
You
It's
think
called
URL
Puppet
is puppet?
Masters, man.
You saying
No,
that
I'm not talking
URL?
about them. I'm talking about the masters who are controlling the strings for everybody.
Okay. Okay.
In every industry, everything having to do with rap. When you say rap,
Yeah.
listen, man, it's a protocol, it's a chain of command, and it's
Mm-hmm.
always gonna be that way. You know what I mean? And you know, I marvel at it, man. I look at it like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So much potential. You know what I mean? And so look, you know, I climbed out of sarcophagus, right? I did verses, I did the kaiju record, I did verses, and I threw it out there just to see, like, yo, and it's like, yo, man, it's like they ain't got no pulse, man. They don't got no pulse.
What do you mean?
Or maybe they don't, like no pulse, man. There was no fanfare about it at all.
Right.
Those who fuck with me was like, yo, I love this shit, man. I listen to this shit crazy. They laughing. They telling me what parts they like. We laughing about it. These are normal people to me. But then the mass populace, though, who I know have heard it, I know that it got around because obviously if I was dissing niggas in it, I would have somebody would have said something, right? I didn't diss nobody in the joint, right? So you see where I'm coming from? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. So that's how I know that, you know what, man.
Yeah.
This thing is
it's that type of world, bro. I mean, listen.
So that's why I said to you, as I said it earlier, it's either it's rap that's cursed or it's the people that's cursed. It's one or the other. But I'm telling you what I believe it is. It's one or the other.
Okay.
And everybody got to make up their own mind as to which one it is.
Okay.
And how they can do something about it. But that's how I feel, because I just feel like somebody just did some straight up master fucking witchcraft on that shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Like top level, top tier wizard shit, not no warlock shit, just straight up wizard shit, and got rap, or the people is one or the other. And straight up cursed. You will go nowhere. No matter what you do, it will mean nothing. All that shit. Everything that so many artists could look. So let me tell you something, dog. Yo, I ain't fucking with these rap niggas, man. That niggas crazy. That niggas crazy. That niggas don't know what you doing. You leading this whole shit somewhere else, man. Y'all can have it, man. Y'all can have it. They can have it. Jigsaw, they can have it.
Okay. Now I gotta ask you, Ken. I gotta ask you, because I ask everybody this, but yours is special. Who your top 5 dead or alive is? If you're willing.
Hard to do it. And the reason why I say that is because there are so many different styles, so many techniques. There are so many that have put in on the culture. To me, there is no top 5. There is no top 5, man. Everybody has told the line in this thing. And considering that people ain't really getting like a lot of the real pioneers, some of them I mentioned in verses, some names I left out, not by accident somewhat. You know, the record already got to be 7 minutes and change. I was like, yo, I got to end it somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I couldn't say every single body name, but to me, I feel like we all told the line. And particularly those who, you know, might not have gotten as much recognition or really don't have much to show for it, anything like that. You know, in their honor, I want to say that they all told the line. And to me, there is no top 5. You know what I'm saying? There is no top 5 because just because the Puppet Masters put you in top 5 don't mean that you top 5 to the people. That's not what it means, man.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? If you want to be hypnotized, that's on you, man. You know, it's up to people if they want to accept the hypnosis or not, man. You know what I mean? But to me, I'm not hypnotized. I'm not under hypnosis. There is no top 5.
Well, let me switch the question, because I want to know the answer of who. Can you give us your top influences? It doesn't have to be top 5. Who?
Right.
Who like
verses? I said them in verses. I'm sorry to cut you, Jigsaw, but I said them in verses. Like those names I said. If you listen, it's all there, man. I put it in the art. I put it in the music. The art imitates the life imitates the art. It's all there. I love them all. Everything that I put out there, that Versus, every name I said, man.
Yeah.
Like it came from a place of love.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? There is no top 5. Versus took 7 minutes and change, and I still miss people. I miss certain names. I miss certain influences. That's what I see as an observer. When I zoom out. Yeah. As an observer, I zoom out. I'm standing out. I'm looking down on it from a zoomed out position.
Right. Okay.
Hip hop is that big.
Yeah, it is.
It's that big. And every artist matters that much, man. Yeah, it matters the way I sat there and scribed it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all, man.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
All right.
I paid so much homage to hip hop, what it means to me and all that. That it's like, and I've done that on a lot of records, man. Yo, man, to look at how, you know what I'm saying, like it is. I'm sorry, man. I apologize. Body that I was unable to, you know what I mean, to like get the W for hip hop or for, you know, for my folks who's looking for me to do it. You know, and I apologize for it.
It's all.
I mean, go get the record and listen to it and see what it means to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, see how somebody that been doing it all this time is still able to put it together. Like, see that, you know what I'm saying? Age is just a number when you're dealing with poetry. You know what I'm saying? So all I can do is just say, look, man, sorry. If it wasn't, sorry, man, the Kaiju albums, what y'all want.
Nah. I can't accept I refuse the apology. I refuse the apology, bro.
Something made right, though. You feel me?
Yeah, I hear
something
you.
Made right, brother. Like somebody is back. Somebody. And well, shit, man. If that's how they feel, they cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll just stay over here in the corner. You know, don't bother to call to interview me because I don't want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Don't even, you know, don't book this, don't book that, don't set nothing up. Just keep it pushing. Just don't listen to the whole stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and keep doing that until a lot of that stuff that I talk about become true.
Right.
To them worlds that I talked about on them records, man. Dozens of records where I reference things that's happening right now.
Right.
Just keep doing all that until you're sitting there and the people are corralled to the point where they can only move their bowels like some goddamn bovine cows. Like, keep doing what you're doing until you're corralled, and the only thing you can move is your bowels like a bovine cow. Just keep doing it. That's all I got to say to the people out there that's chiming in, and they just hate my face. They hate seeing my face. They hate my voice. They hate my beats. They hate the beats I rap inside. They hate it. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't
That's
know,
all
man.
I got to say to the haters, man. Like, yo, just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah. I can't do it now because we have to rap, but we're gonna have to get into this metaverse and all the NFT conversations and that stuff too. I've been doing my research and homework since we last talked. And
that's what I want to hear, bro.
Yeah, so we got to have that conversation because that's the next level.
Got to get into that.
Yeah, definitely.
See what I'm saying? And that's what we was on in the beginning.
Yeah.
Technology. We was trying to have people. You right? That's what we was trying to do.
Yo, you mentioned the metaverse a bit earlier, but I know that you were in the NFT space a bit.
Yeah. So the metaverse. Yeah, I'm listening.
Talk about the NFT shit, man, because obviously I think a lot of artists are still trying to figure out the space. It's new.
Right.
We starting to kind of understand what it is, but at the same time, are very disconnected to what it really is.
Right.
So you're in the space.
Right.
How are you feeling about like kind of just that whole side of the game?
Okay, so a lot of it, you know, I'm only qualified to speak on a fraction of what an NFT can do or where it's going, right? Mainly because a lot of the, you know, you got to be a coder, man. Like you really have to, you know, to really know what you're doing, man. Like, cause I work with some of those guys and I mean, they're like brainiacs, man, you know, and most of them, from what I see, they're like our age, they're not little youngins, man, because they had to go and invest the time to learn these programs, and they have to know how to code, right? And so NFTs, while there's a lot to it and there's a lot that can happen because of it, I think rap's gonna miss the boat with it again, man, because once again, you know, they're not, our own people are not, they're not paying attention to the ones who stand to gain and lose the most if we don't get something like that for ourselves. They're not listening to them. They want to go run to just the corporate masters, right? That you know, really kind of don't care one way or another if you make something that your grandchildren are going to be able to tap into to, you know, go to school, you know, get higher education, right? And that's not my axe to grind, man. I'm just saying that to even sit up here and talk about NFT stuff, I mean, I was talking about Canibus.com when nobody gave a shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me to talk about it now, nobody gives a shit.
People are giving, I mean, you, I saw you just had some NFTs. I mean, how many, I saw you just put up an NFT, right?
I don't have any NFTs.
I swear.
No, if you go online and you look for Canibus NFTs, you don't have any Canibus NFTs. But the whole thing is that, you know, I'm orbiting the technology and I'm orbiting the NFT world because there are things that are works of art that I would like to, you know, I would like to either ascertain,
right,
or, you know, have investors, you know, angel investors come in and ascertain, right? Because okay, so this Bored Ape, you know, NFT,
which is
Bored Yacht Club thing,
right?
Now you look at that, right? Now, if you look at it, it's colorful. It does draw on you a little bit when you look at it, right? To at least for you to scroll and look at the next one,
right?
And you think maybe that, like, you know, maybe there's a like a hip, you know, someone that has like hip hop roots behind it, and it's probably not.
Probably not.
And that's kind of like crazy. So where are the hip hop guys that? Because the prices of those things
are insane,
right? So how will we ever be able to participate in something like that when it's happening right now, and none of us are in that space? So
it's almost like, is it too late? Or like, do you think it's too late for people to get into that space?
It's too late. It's too late because of the division that you talked about earlier, because it's like, you know, no one's going to pool together enough to go do that. Everyone else. I mean, now that we're speaking about that, let me pretty much, so I don't have all the answers for that, but I do have a place that has the answers for it, right? That I know of, that I've, all right. So, you know, this is what I just throw this out. Yo, okay, rippers, investors, hood philanthropists, grandpas with bitcoins, grandmas with shit coins. Look in the iPictorial app, available on Google Play, iPictorial.com. Secure your future with customized iPictorial IOVs, that's Internet of Value tools. I'm talking Canibus coins, Jurassic 5 J5 coins, hieroglyphics, hydro coins.
There's J5 coins?
Yeah,
and
that's right.
What?
That's right. Okay. Every coin, you can cross-chain anything. Think bank, iPictorial finance. There's no one with coins on exchanges. They're going to be on Coinbase and the NASDAQ index. Special rewards coins with membership powers. iPictorial smart wallets for smart people with smartphones. Make smart money from smart contracts. Gym code classes begin January 2022. Available on iPictorial wallet. All of this will be available on January 1st, 2022. Now, this is a small company, right? With long reach, right? I just said that on there, right? Yeah. I'd be surprised to see how many people go there and try to take advantage of or look into what's there for them, right? Now, you know, X amount of days later after this broadcast, I'll find out.
Right.
And most likely, like, the way that I see it is, because I said it, no one cares, right? But this company, they're building on their own without me saying that, right? So they're probably going to grab onto something else out there that's going to win. And then, you know, we're going to be looking at the people who we told about it like, but we told you though, right? And they're going to run off with somebody else that's going to, you know, distribute their musics, take their namesake, you know, get their crypto world together, you know, their wallets,
right.
you know, get all that stuff is very important. And I know why, but I can't say it why, because it doesn't matter unless they go look into an the iPictorial app, right? And so for anybody that wants to like put the goggles on, right? Just like you was talking about Kid Cudi, Like, would you say Kid Cudi had a
Kid Cudi.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, I don't want them to roast you in the comments.
Yeah, pardon that. Yeah, so Kid Cudi, right? So he had like something where they perform with the goggles
metaverse
on, right?
shit.
Right. Now, when we know that's a huge artist, right? Brings a whole lot of fanfare and everything.
Of course.
But look, you could put the goggles on and go see him, right? Well, you could put the goggles on and see me too. But you got to go to aperture.com.
There it is.
But one day, very soon, they're going to wake up and they're going to be in that world already. You can't buy anything in that world. You're not going to be able to earn it. You're not going to be able to get any airdrops. You're not going to be getting it. You're just going to wake up. You're just going to owe it. And you're going to have to go to work in order to get it. And that's
in the same way we have to do that for the U.S. dollar, right? You got to earn the U.S. dollar. So one day you're not going to be able to purchase into that world.
That's right.
You're going to have to work into that world.
That's right.
Which is a crazy, I mean, that's a crazy thought. But it's eventually.
But for us, though, I think that we're going to still be able to do what we do and do what we're good at doing.
Right.
It's the new generation, man. We're talking about our kids here, talking about our grandchildren.
Yeah, grandchildren.
This is what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
When we're talking about that kind of stuff, that's what we're really talking about.
Because
we're able to get it in so many different ways.
No, you're right. This is probably maybe 50, 100 years away.
yeah. You know.
Another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Folklore. It's not folklore because it's on YouTube. Right. You, Mike Geronimo, DMX, Pun, Mos Def.
Right, that's correct.
John Forte.
I remember that vaguely. Anyway,
it's like one of the more historical just ciphers that was ever captured from that era.
Yeah,
like
you know, Torre should have gave us like. Somebody did tell us to do sign off. Torre should have gave us like a percentage on that. Yeah, Torre was the guy. He ended up being on
the journalist
CNN.
guy. Yeah, the journalist guy. Yeah,
I remember seeing his face on CNN one day. Like, yo, that dude. Yo, it's like the Beef DVD, right?
I remember the Beef DVD.
So QD3, shout out to QD3.
Yeah, that's Quincy Jones' son, right?
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's like, yo, a percentage on that would have been nice. You know?
Yeah, the fact that he made so much money on three or four of those DVDs off of, and no one saw anything off of it.
Listen to me, man.
Those Beef DVDs were moving in the streets.
Stop playing.
I got 3 of them. I got them at my house.
Stop playing. So that's all I'm saying, man. Like when it just came, it seemed like when it came to rap, man, it's like winner takes all, you know? And
I mean, look, the entertainment industry in general is very predatory, right?
Yeah, but hold on though, man. Anywhere else in the entertainment industry, man, there are, you know, like what drops on the head drips on the shoulder. So there are things that drop off the tree, man. It's like okay, that fruit is ripe or it's overripe, but it's still sustenance. But in rap, listen, man, our VA list, you know, of injured and wounded and, you know, otherwise it's unbearable.
That's just true.
It's unbearable. And I can't do anything about it. I don't have the resources to do anything about it. Every time I tried to go get the resources to do something about it, I was blocked one way or another, right? The narrative was stolen, taken from me, and the narrative changed into something that was like, had something to do with beef or drama, right? But I'm only speaking on it now to just kind of just say, hey, just build a little bit of awareness about it.
Take me back to that night from that cipher.
Right.
Big Pun is one of my favorite ever. I mean, this is a crazy night in hip hop. Yeah. DMX is there. Yeah. I mean, you're there. Like, what do you remember about that night and those circumstances from that night?
I remember that in that room, as tense as it was because of what we all were trying to do in our own lives. We all wanted to come out, make our impacts. You know, plant our flags in the ground, right? And firmly make an impact in hip hop across the world. That's what we wanted to do. We were all American artists,
right.
You know, of course, coming from different lineages, right? And then
everyone on the cusp of being the next big thing in rap.
Right. And then ethnically, it was really spread out all throughout. You know, and it was spread out. It was a spread out round table, right? But in spite of how intense it was, what I distinctly remember was, as much as each one of us was willing to go hard with them rhymes and other things to make that statement, there was still complete love in that room. And you can look at it and tell like there was love for each other and respect for each, that's what you didn't see anything jump off in there that was like unbecoming of, artists that are kind of like in their freshman role trying to get it popping. Like we showed love to each other in that, and there was no security there. We didn't need any extra. There was no hype man there. There was no squads. Nobody had a whole squad standing outside the door. Like, so that much I remember. I remember that there was love in that room, and the love, I think, was probably resonant because of the lyrical miracle ability, right?
We
all had that ability in there, so everybody respected one another's pen game, and we all knew consciously and subconsciously that we were kind of like all up against the same machine. We weren't up against each other. We were up against the same machine because we were trying to get something from the machine in order to go feed our little huskies and our munchkins, and branch out. And so that's what I remember from that. Everything else is kind of like a blur.
Wow.
Because I don't think anybody could have
foreseen how special of a moment that would have been in the future. Like it's lived on. It's on YouTube. Like no one knew YouTube was gonna. You didn't know how that moment was gonna be. Perceived 20 years down the line.
Right, and you're right, 100%. Torre just took the percentage, the royalty, and just ran off. Torre didn't even. Torre, I'm waiting on my call, man. Like let's do Roundtable Part 2.
Did he monetize that?
Man, look, man, Torre, you see him on CNN, man.
I see him on CNN.
Yeah, man. That came from somewhere.
Right.
I'm just messing with you, Torre. It's all love, man. I'm just saying to you that in general, though, no one turned it into, like, what I'm trying to say is, in rap, everything else, man, they franchise everything. But rap, we do it late. And if we do it, we don't allocate the funds properly. It's crazy, man. We're the trendsetters, but that's not what sets us back. What sets us back is how we allocate and how we adjudicate. So I got like 3,500 or some songs registered, right? Registered,
which is insane.
I'm like, sounds, how much that is because you did the math that fast, right? So. So let's take.
You might have more registered songs than any rapper ever, to be honest.
Right?
That's
maybe.
insane.
Yeah, it is. I could show you the proof, and I probably will, like right after we get off. But now, so in my mind, right, and in the mind of the people who know me best, that one song that everybody keep talking about, if we just subtract that one song from the catalog,
there's still 30.
You get where I'm coming from? You understand where I'm coming from?
I get it.
So that's exactly where we stand.
I understand how that could be frustrating.
It's not frustrating to me. I'm almost looking at the rap community like they're slow. And this is why we're in the shit that we're in.
Right.
And that's why I've stopped trying to augment the direction that's going to get us, because they're not just doing it with me. They're doing it with all the artists out here. They're taking narratives that will shackle people to things that muck up the gears and make it so that they can't, make an impact of value. They turn it into something that the only value that can come from it is like, the ops, right? What they're selling and how they're changing the narrative and how, maybe something unfortunate can happen to the light, you know what I mean? Or just the balancer or the equalizer. They want something to happen to the equalizer, man.
Well, listen, the way I look at it is this, right? I think that situation is historical in the same way that I think that round table that you, DMX, Pun, and Mike Geronimo was historical. So as a hip hop fan, as someone who participated as a consumer in that era, personally, it's something I want to, I want to ask you about that day where you were sitting at that table. In the same way I want to, ask you about, I specifically remember participating as a fan in that situation. So
it's beautiful, man. And yet again, I can stand here on this side of the fence and say, okay, so let's look at the round table. Like, what happened to everybody on the panel? Like, including me, man. Like, or any of the potentially everybody that was on that panel, potentially, did any of us even get to like half our real potential?
I think really it was just X, right?
You're saying X got to half of his potential?
No, I think he got fully to. I mean, at the end of the day, DMX had what, 5 or 6 number 1 albums in a row.
Oh, so you're talking about materialism then now?
5 in a row.
So you're talking about materialism?
No, I just mean in terms of commercial success.
So
right?
that's his potential, was commercial success.
No, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, because
I said potentially they reached half their potential. Like, what do you think that anybody on that panel reached half of their potential? That's what you think too?
DMX.
I don't think he reached half his potential. Like you're talking about records and sales and money, right? But even when he passed, there were issues like surrounding like what money is going where and what's going on.
I agree.
With that.
Like, yeah, on the personal side of the fence,
I don't agree because
it just
of that.
depends on what scope are we looking at it through. When you ask that question,
it's one scope. It's only one scope. Everybody's sitting at that table, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did they reach half their potential? Because I feel like if any of us at that table had reached half the potential, it would be like obscenely visible now and not just financially. You get where I'm trying to come from?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm gonna always push back with that kind of conversation. People come with that shit. I just look at it like, damn, man, hip hop is slow. Look, man, I'm gonna push back like I always would, saying that, you know, it's like we're hunted, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're hunted, man. You know what I'm saying? And somebody somewhere is not satisfied until everybody on the panel, you know, it's like some kind of a fucked up horror film, man. You know what I'm saying? Or novel. That's the way I look at it. And that's the way a lot of people that listen to my music look at things, man. Because you know what? Unfortunately, it looks like that's the way it is. Everybody else is slow to catch up, man. Everybody else think that it is just about this material stuff. Or, you know, you did reach all this potential because your name is everywhere. But you know what? Are you miserable? Is your family miserable? You know what I mean? Is certain things going through certain hardships where you got to look at it and be like, damn, considering all of the people that would look up to X and say, you got me out of some real rough times, brother. And I love you for it. And I always support you for it. You know, sometimes people tell me that. Definitely not as much times as X has heard that, right? And so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think
I just get sad, bro. I get sad when people try to act like what they've done, like what the game is, you know, giving back to us is satisfactory, man. I push back, bro. I disagree.
I mean, listen, I told you in general. I mean, I think in general the industry has you know was rough towards you.
Okay, well, you're telling me the shit stinks. I'm telling you though that what happened, the reason behind what happened. I'm pointing in a direction at it. I can't isolate what it is because I can't breathe air that far up in the clouds.
Right.
But, you know, because it's rarefied up there. But trust me when I tell you, man, like the fans really do, you know, if it wasn't for them, like, you know, some of the things that you would see, like you look at that panel, dudes wouldn't even been able to get what they got like now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part I push back on if somebody's coming to try to say, oh yeah, well you guys, because you're not the only one, boss. It's not your fault. You're not at fault here. And then here I am, like just giving you like, yeah, look at the panel. You talk about the panel, like look. So how you think I feel like being that I was on the panel? I feel like a small part of me is feeling like I'm carrying a flag for that, right? And then another part of me is like, yo, stay away from that shit. You understand what I'm trying to say? But you want to know because you think the fans want to know, so you drag me into that. You get where I'm coming from? You know what I mean? Let's be pragmatic about what we're talking about here, man, because I don't even like doing interviews because the narrative, they always grab the narrative, and it's always somebody that's slower than me. You know what I'm saying? That grabs the narrative and takes it and goes somewhere else with it. And then I end up in the middle and I end up being the bad guy when all I'm trying to do is just like the Kaiju record. I'm trying to keep something afloat here. Or I'm trying to assist or help. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. It's always been like that. And it just seemed like rap. You know what it seems like to me, man?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this, I'm going to shut up about it.
Yeah.
It seems like rap is the death of us. Rap is the death of us, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like the artists that come out and they make their music and they're impactful and they're, you know, there's some good in them and they're out there and they're making a difference for the better. Rap is the death of them. Not something else, but rap.
I mean, also literally and figuratively as well. Because, I mean, we've seen
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit.
And that's a goddamn shame. That's all I'm saying, man.
What year did you enlist in the you went to the Army, right?
Yeah, 01. Yeah.
01.
At the way I felt at that juncture was like, you know what? Rap ain't it. You know, and I'm still young enough to go out and make a difference.
And do something else.
That's right. And pretty much like be a kaiju in a way.
How many years were you in the service?
I mean, you know, got in 04, supposed to be 2, right? But got in 04, got in 01, and got out in 04. So,
and then you had did you went overseas?
No, that's not. No.
You didn't end up going overseas.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's just an interesting experience, you know, because it's like I remember seeing that in whatever magazine. Like, oh shit, Canibus is in the.
I mean, you know, I did write doctrine for the strikers, bro. Like first brigade to have them. You know, I always was like a getaway driver kind of guy, and even though I was a scout, 19 Delta. You know, I was on a 3 truck, man. Striker brigade, wrote doctrine, helped write doctrine for those vehicles.
Wow.
They perform, and they definitely used me to test the performance. So
that's big. Yeah, no. Do you think that at that point in time, mentally, you were just this rap shit is enough? Because I feel like the industry wasn't good to you. You know what I'm saying? After that first album,
I appreciate you even like, you know what I mean? Just saying that, man. You know, I appreciate you even just saying that, man. Like, I'm not looking. Listen, man. I'm not a bleeding heart myself, so I don't really, you know. Listen, man. People have been dealt worse hands, right?
True.
But the thing is, just when you just look at the potential of certain things, right? Some people, it's gonna sting them harder because of what they were, you know. What they were innocently trying to increase or help or assist. It's going to sting those folks harder because it's like you come into something bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, you know, nobody's innocent when they're 100 years old, right? But when you're 20, you know, you're innocent of a lot of things that you wouldn't be at 40 or 50, right?
Right.
So at that age, man, come on, man, I was innocent, like, in terms of like what I was trying to bring to the game with music, you know? And yeah, I mean, I can't say it though. I can't say that the industry wasn't good to me. When you say it, you know, I just say amen and I applaud. I really will tell you that, you know, what I was up against, I really didn't know at that time, right? And then by the time I figured it out, what I was up against, everyone had abandoned ship. Right? I was pretty much by myself, right? And it was something that I realized what it was, or what I thought it was. Definitely a heavier pill to swallow than, you know, than being something simple to mitigate, something to figure out, get out of.
Right.
But I was in the middle of it, so I couldn't quit. I couldn't lay down, and I couldn't just sit there and wait for, you know, that grindstone that grinds everything to dust. You know what I mean? So I had to keep it pushing, and that's what I did. Right now, though, even though, you know, we talk about the industry, this, that, yeah, but you know what though? Like the release of this Kaiju record, there were records, man. Like you got Melatonin Magic, you got like For Whom to Be Told, you have Lyrical Law, you had Rip the Jacker. Like there were records that My Club, the Curriculum. There were a lot of records that came out. Time flies. There were records that came out after that I'd say the brotherhood, like the fan base, the listeners, the rippers, like people that they don't care what the game talking about, what the industry talking about. They want to hear what Canibus got to say.
Yeah.
They came through in the clutch, right? And they stepped up to the plate in such a way where, I mean, if that's all that there is, or that's all that you can walk away from with it, I gotta tell you that I'm more than blessed to have that, or to have secured it through that same innocence. I'm older now. I'm not perfect, right? But some of that innocence is still there. And this brotherhood that I'm talking about, they have reflected that innocence, and I see it. And when they come to support, they know that it was a lot. They don't know exactly what I was bearing on my shoulders, but they know that it was a lot. And now they kind of like, they step to the plate. I mean, these people, they're older now. Like all the Rippers that were following me back in the 90s, they all got kids now, man. Mostly all of them. They're all grown. They all got, you know what I mean? They all made it through this.
I'm one of them. You know,
I feel you.
When I was 11 years old when your album came out.
You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm saying? And you know, this pandemic for the last 2 years, man, like they're still out here getting it popping, right? Like subsisting, you know, like striving.
Right.
And then for them to set aside, like, you know what, I'm gonna get that new Biz album, whatever, and then to be able to make it number 2 across all the platforms. It's independent, man. We just went to the warehouse, we picked.
And people are buying the physical copies. They're signing the physical copies.
So I wanna take a snapshot of that and highlight that, because that is the moment where I can like look on what happened, you know, with more of like a, whew, you know what I mean? If it wasn't real and it was all fake, then that means the Rippers now that I got wouldn't have existed, but they're here.
No, they're here because. Yeah, obviously,
they're my angels, man.
Yeah, I do think like, you know, I think back to like,
I'm grateful for that is what I'm saying.
And if you really think about like, I do think like the big misconception is like your first album wasn't fire.
Right.
I always thought it was great.
Right.
And obviously, like you said, you look at how many years later,
right,
there's still people who are putting money in your pocket for a new album. So it obviously cut through to a certain extent, but like, I mean, maybe it just wasn't the industry success that people had hoped it to be.
Nah, it did 150,000 units first week,
fucking
man.
Big.
You know what I'm saying? That's most a lot people of bread. That keeps the lights on.
Most people would chop their arm off.
Yeah, that keeps
to do that.
That's just the first week. You know what I'm saying?
In their first week.
Yeah, it was number 2
huge.
on Billboard. Like it was behind Lauryn, and you know, it was right behind number 2 behind Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill was number 1, right? On SoundScan that week. So who can beat Lauryn? Nobody, right? 100%. So yeah, you know what I mean? So
do you feel like with Kaiju, because what I'm noticing is like with the Horseman release and Kaiju, like it feels like you're really taking advantage of the fact that, you know what, you do have a core fan base that will break bread with whatever Canibus does. And I think that sometimes people forget that, right? Like, you know, like when you put it out, like you said earlier, right? Like you're not just going straight to streaming platforms. You're pressing up records. You're, you know, you're essentially giving something tangible to fans still when that's not a thing.
Well, to be absolutely honest, because it's all grassroots, there's really no promo money going in. There's nobody offering up any assistance with that. You know, it's just this team, small team too. You can count them on one hand, and if need be, you can count them on 2 hands. But that's it. And I got to tell you that we're not always absolutely sure that, you know, there's going to be any support for records. I mean, if you go on Google right now, you type in Canibus Kaiju, it's not going to just come up, bro. The site that was built to support the record will come up, but it's not coming up nowhere else. You understand what I'm trying to say? So let's not take the narrative and throw it somewhere else. Act like, oh yeah, Canibus got a solid fan base and all that. Like, no, I got folks that, you know, by the grace of the Creator, right, are able to, you know, stand on their own in their own lives, and they just happen to, you know, little birdie says, hey man, Biss just dropped the album, and then they say to themselves, you know what, I'm kind of going through right now, let me see what Biss going through, because I always listen to Biss when I want to go work out, when I want to get motivated, when I want to get inspired to like go out here and deal with life and try to, you know what I mean, try to win, try to get a victory out of, you know, something that's really, really, you know, hampering me right now. That's where I think it comes from. It's just people saying, let me get this a shot to listen to it. So the pressure's still on me to make a record that's going to give them that extra, yo, let me do 2 more sets. Right, you know what I mean? Right. Let me do, you know what I mean? So that's what it is. We're never going into it thinking that we're going to certainly get this amount or do this amount, because at the end of the day, if you see the numbers or whatever, they're still small, bro. All I can say now is like, hey, we still in the trenches, right? You know, we take it day by day. You know, everybody out here pounding pavement to do the best that we can. And then sometimes, we know that something ain't working or whatever, and we keep it pushing and we leave it alone. You know what I mean? This is not some kind of resurgence of cannabis or nothing like that, man. I'm still the same dude,
You're just going to do what makes sense. If it makes sense, you're going to do it. If you're feeling it, you're going to do it. And if not, it's all good because you're still the same guy either way.
Word, that's what it
cannabis
is, man.
Hey, so what's the website that everyone can go and, like, if they want to actually physically buy the music?
I appreciate that. So if you want to just be involved, hang out with people who like cannabis music, they bump that. I got Born Son with me. I got the team, my rippers. Pretty much like everybody you can imagine. It's like messing with real hip hop. I got Body Bag Ben on this album. We're forging new relationships. 80s reaching out to new people, forging new relationships, right? And then some of the old relationships, if they're reparable, we'll repair them, right? If they're beyond reproach, we leave them alone. But CaniNFT.com. That's CANINFT.com. You can go there to like directly
support,
get involved, and get involved with what I'm up to next, right?
There it is,
right.
man. Well, I appreciate your time, man.
Word.
Real shit, brother.
All right, peace.
Law, the God, verse Snoop, Corrupt, verse J. Ruin, I Fool, Cardi B, verse MC Light, the Neptunes, verse Onyx in the Tunnel on a Sunday night, Tory Lanez, verse Kendrick Lamar, the Shark Bar, Big Punisher, verse G-Rap in a smart car, Busta Rhymes, first leaders of the new, every member of the group, Swiss Beats, first Timberland and Magoo, Doja Cat, verse the Lady of Rage, Tupac, verse Cage, Eminem, verse T-Pain and 2 Chainz, Nostradamus, first the BDI-MC, the whole boot camp, first BDP, Jay-Z versus KRS-One, Childish Gambino and Chino, first King's Son, Black Thought, first Smoother Hustler, Scarface, first Buster, Brother Ali, first Step Lover, Tribe Called Quest, first Slick and Doug Fresh, Young Money Drake, first Lord Finesse, Red MF, first Ghost and Chef, Source Money, first 38 Special, Shi Ali, first Dress, Ice-T, first X-Clan, I'll be sure, first MC Shan, DC, first Cool Disco Dan, Born Son, first JLX, Scratch, first Terminator X, this'll be the dopest urban event, Rock Marcy, first CeeLo, Fat Joe, first Camp Low, Absol, first UTFO, Smoother Hustler, first Black Thought, remember Jack the Rapper 94, Del, first DMX, my dog, Moni Love, first Questlove, on a stretch rug with Pudgy the Fat Bastard, that's messed up, Lauryn Hill versus Bushwick Bill, D12 versus ODB and Supreme Clientele, Action Bronson versus his father, that's the #1 chief rocker, boss Rick Ross versus Big Papa, Mo D versus Cold Cheeks over Easy Mo B, the whole Duck Down versus MOP, Griselda versus Cash Money, Shabazz the Disciple versus Bad Bunny, Everlast versus Vinny Paz in the Scully, Post Malone versus Noriega and Capone, Tone Loc versus Grave Diggers while they cremate bones, Mike Jones versus Mike Geronimo versus Jim Jones versus Sicario at Red Rock, Colorado with Super Mario, Drink Champs, give me space, Drake versus Master Ace versus Mace, first Charlie Baltimore, pretty face, Freddie Fox still got them burn marks on his waist, I bet you Nori won't blow no smoke in his face, Uptown Puff versus McGruff, Rod Digger versus Lady Luck, A+ versus Ladybug, Anthony Hamilton's band versus the Elephant Man, and Lotta Dark Man, a Hot 97 Summer Jam, Lil Flip versus Will Smith, Yin Yang Twins versus Big Gip, World's Greatest Pimp, Too Short versus Tip, K-Solo the Fugitive versus the Pugilist, first Jada Kiss, first This Is the Most Beautifulest Thing in Cassidy versus Chubb Rock, Outside a Blood Clot, Truck Stop, A-Side Rocky versus A-Side Rock, Jurassic 5 versus the Fantastic 4 versus the Treacherous 3 versus Audio 2 on BET, Cali Casino, FLIP versus Free in the I Pictorial Virtual Metaverse Dream, D. Dot the Mad Rapper, Ron Lawrence, Hitman, Stevie J and Trackmasters, first Body Bag Ben, AZ versus 8-Ball, MJG, Willie D versus DJ Quick and Trey D, Rashid versus Shot T, me versus Plug 1, 2 and 3, Coolio versus Young MC, Greg Nice and Smooth B versus Pete Rock, the CEO real smooth. Guru verse Granddaddy IU. Nicki Minaj verse T-Boz. And some old school felines. Plies verse Outcast and Goody Mob. Charlemagne the God verse Star. Angela Yee verse Aguilar. Wendy Williams verse Lala. Silk the Shocker verse the Funk Doctor. Waka Flocka, Mystical verse Murs and Mav Hopper. Cameron verse Cambada. In the middle of Harlem. The Dog Pound verse D-Block in Yonkers. K Reno verse Joe Pellegrino. Rampage verse Migos. Chris Cross verse Illegal. Dre and Snoop verse the Rapid Duke. Just Ice verse Papoose. Tech 9 verse Hobson. Redman verse Blue. Father MC in a 3-piece suit verse Chic Loose. Undercard Saigon verse MC Juice. Supernatural verse the whole Juice Crew. Craig G sitting by the dock of the bay in the booth verse the coup. Major Figures verse Mook. Fetty Gibbs verse Luke. Loaded Lux verse RTJ produced by Stoop. Juicy J verse Kwame. Ludacris verse Wale. LL Cool J verse Dr. Dre. Pac-Man verse Timbo King. All Neil kiss the ring in the ring while Ashanti sing. Chuck D verse Dub C. Zach from Rage of the Machine verse R.A. the Rugged Man overseas. Showbiz and AG. Big L and OC verse Diamond D. Ain't they all DITC? Roxanne Shantae versus Rappin' Forte. Mac Dre and Blase versus Paz K. Cool G Rap versus Twister from Chirac. He gon' snap. Wish I could NFT something like that. Prize, the ghetto superstar versus Gangstar. The Zanzibar Escobar versus Bazaar. Tragedy Gaddafi versus Lil Yachty. While Busy B, Cool Rock, Ski Steady rock the party. Royce the 5 versus the Furious 5. Tonight at the Apollo, if you go, I go. Fabulous versus Channel Live. Bahamadia versus Wise for poor rights teachers. King Crooked Eye versus Flo Rida and Wiz Khalifa. Wyclef versus Beanie Siegel at the Bellagio Casino. Whoever win got a first Benzino. Organized confusion versus One DMC. To me, that's real EMCDE. Tyler the Creator versus Ali Vega. Third base with a gas face versus Lupe with a laser. Bush Babies versus Lee Majors. Chill Rob G versus Rob Bass. Me versus Megan Thee Stallion. Nate Cypress Hill versus Snorty by Nature in an urban situation. NWA versus John Vega. Aguilar the Assassin versus Nick Cannon. David Banner in Atlanta versus Jules Santana. Benderella versus Salt and Pepper. Mikey D versus Large Professor. Remy Ma versus Armageddon. Groovy Lou versus Mickey Benson. That ain't even nothing to mention. Cannabis, you just trying to get attention. Grand Pooh versus Brand New. Ja Rule. Cadillac Time Black 2. HJJ Fast Food. Q-Tip versus Ice Cube. 20 million views. 50 versus Wu-Tang Power. He make power moves. Laws Professor versus Nature and Mega. Queens flip hug to aggressive. Nigga be standing outside your session. Crucial conflict versus Children of the Corn. Smoking hay in the barn with J. Cole from Vietnam. James Samuel versus Mr. Magnanimous. Cannabis writes the song with no camera tricks. Hus Killer versus Dilla versus Beast. G-Unit Gorillas. Yayo and Banks versus Master Builders. DJ Muggs versus Young Thug. The youngsters versus the Young Bloods versus the homie from the cellar dwellers. Rashad Jamal versus Osiris and Vaughn. Willie Dynamite called Maintain versus Higher Arc. Brian Myers versus Anuel. Denzel versus Samuel. Chris Rock versus Dave Chappelle. Sade versus Patti LaBelle. Prince versus Mikael. The Post Office versus Email. Heaven versus Hell. Cannabis, like I told you, I rarely fail. Now I'ma go outside, I'll burn me a nail.